He gave it to Butcher. Now Hall. Butcher was leveled by Gilbert with a clean hit. Corralled by Goulet to Yanni. He got bumped at center. Lost his stick. It's stolen by Lowry. Feeding for Basson, a backhander. Rolling wide. There's going to be a penalty coming up against Chicago. And as the Hawks control, the whistle sounds. And the Blues are going to go to the power play again. Now Basson and McGill having words. And everybody gathers in the Chicago zone. Bob Basson, not the biggest of players, but his heart's as big as his body.
Roenick with a vicious two-hander right across the forearm or the muscle bicep area of Basson. And that was the penalty. Then Basson hit him hard into the end boards, catching him off balance. And then the other corner, Sutter took a run at Goulet, but Roenick with a two-hander.
Lead for Bruce, and he kicked it ahead into the Hawk zone. And he gave McGill a big hit in the corner. McGill came back on him. He's going to get a penalty, and maybe both. Now they drop the gloves. McGill and Bruce have dropped the gloves, trying to go at one another. And a left hand from Bruce, and McGill answers with several short rights. They both lost their headgear. And now wrestling as the linesmen look for an opportunity to move in. And now they do. Talking with Mike Keenan about a possible problem behind the bench area. And here's where the altercation started. Well, each McGill and Bruce get a minor and a 5-minute fighting penalty, so Bruce coming back at McGill after McGill was going to get the initial penalty. He cost his team a power play, but here's Russell squaring off at center ice with the Kimball. Darren Kimball and Cam Russell squaring off now. The linesmen are going to let him get started, and now Kimball with a right hand. He's jackhammered Russell, and Russell answers, and Kimball is hurt. Darren Kimball put 3 or 4 on the jaw of Cam Russell, and all of a sudden the Chicago player landed a big right hand, and Kimball's knees buckled. And now they're separated, and they'll head off to the dressing room.
Well, we saw Russell last year called up numerous occasions. He went with Kordic, and Kordic hit him a couple solid shots in the game in Toronto, and he just kept coming. Russell, a tough customer, just called up with the injury to Steve Conroy. They had a lot of time to change their mind. Two tough guys, Kimball known for this. They both stare at each other. And Kimball surprises Russell, catches a couple right off the bat. And then Russell teed off after getting about 4 or 5 rights himself, and then got Kimball off balance and landed a couple of his own.
Now the play is in the blue zone. Here's a shot and a save by Jablonski. Rebound Wilson. Jablonski rebound. They score! The third chance was put in by Roenick. And the Blackhawks have tied the game at 2. And now we got another brawl around the net as all the players are pairing up. After Roenick popped in the third chance for the goal, he was leveled by a Blues player, and now everybody is pairing off, and Graham being held apart from a St. Louis man by the linesman.
Well, Stevens going absolutely nuts after the goal went in. Started flailing away at everyone in sight that had a red jersey on. And Graham wanted to get at him, and then Manson came in, and finally they both get... The officials do a great job of preventing any further mess.
They really did. They were on the spot in a hurry there, and they had to be if they're a couple of seconds later than they were. We got a full-scale situation, it would have appeared.
And Scott Stevens just going berserk after the goal went in. He started swinging from the left and right at anybody that had a red jersey on. Roenick's first shot was stopped. Then Wilson came in. His shot deflected right in front. Then Roenick flipped at it. Stevens just knocked Roenick down and then started swinging at everybody in sight. Then Manson came in. Thomas Graham. Then Graham gave Stevens a sneak attack. But the officials do a great job. Heyer, Finn, and Mariueli, all of them, get in a hurry to prevent maybe a potential riot. Roenick's first attempt stops at the goal mouth. It's hacked loose. Doug Wilson's shot saved by Jablonski. Jablonski then couldn't stop the attempt Lowry gives Roenick a whack and shoves him right into Stevens. What's Roenick to do in that situation? Stevens takes exception to it, and then Graham comes in, and Stevens is swinging at everybody. Scott Stevens, 25th in the all-time penalty list in the NHL.
And Dale, unless he has a big finish in his penalty minute total, this is going to be the lowest number of penalty minutes in his 9-year career. He came into the game tonight. Now they still battle away, and Basson trying to dig it loose. He's knocked down, and Yoni's going to get a penalty. Now here's Sutter taking a swing at Adam Creighton, and the linesman again there very quickly with a good bit of recognition of that situation. Looked like there's going to be a penalty called on Yoni, who gave an extra whack to Basson as he fell to the ice. And then off the play, Richard Sutter with a roundhouse left on Adam Creighton.
Basson, meanwhile, while he was down, a two-hander on Yanni that went undetected by Maruelli. Basson goes down. Yanni gives him an extra shove. That's the penalty. And then a vicious two-hander from Basson on his back. I don't know if Maruelli is going to call that one or not. Basson went down, and then Yanni gave him a shove while he's down, and then Basson just swung violently with the stick at Yanni, and Maruelli's not calling that, and he's right there, and he saw the whole thing.
Now Stevens and Manson having words, but
Scott Stevens has been running all over the place, especially here in the second period, almost out of control.
The pass is stolen. Back comes Quinn over the line, walks into the slot, shoots. Belfour with a blocker, made a good stop. Back of the net, Stevens digs it out, centering. Deflects to Quinn, his long shot, and a save by Belfour in traffic. Rebound to the near side, a shot, gloved by Belfour. What a job by Ed Belfour. And now Stevens and Manson drop the gloves, and these two heavyweights are going to be kept apart as again Finn and Heyer get to the scene in a hurry. Meanwhile, a Blues player all over Belfour and Wilson all over Dave Lowry, and Belfour made a couple of saves with a man draped all over him.
And then Belfour, as the whistle blew, went out of the crease and flattened Quinn. Lowry in front, ties up Manson. Puck comes back to Quinn. Quinn lets it go. Shot hit the side of the net. Wilson knocks down Lowry in front. Stevens in deep. Tries to surprise Belfour by throwing one from behind the net, hoping for a deflection, and then Belfour just leveled Quinn, and then Manson and Stevens drop the gloves, and the officials get in a hurry.
Roenick gets into the blue zone on Butcher. Roenick around him, shoots. Butcher stuck out the leg and tripped Roenick,
but somehow he gets it to him. Roenick with a nice move. Butcher sticks his leg out. Still Roenick gets the shot away.
Quinn, who took a swing at Gillis behind the play that nobody saw. Gillis knocked Quinn down at the Blues line, and as the play was up the ice and those two were separating, Quinn, while on the ice, just whacked Gillis right across the back of the legs where there's no protection. And as the whistle sounded, Quinn and Gillis having words, and they're both going to be sent off here. Play continues as Sutter gets to the Hawk line, left it for Mahara, centering pass, tip. Belfour, the save, rebound is loose, and now covered up by Belfour with help from Goulet, and a big scuffle again around the Hawk net. And the Blues with a opportunity to get the equalizer, didn't miss by much there, and now Sutter and McGill are wrestling back and forth. And Creighton has a shove for Sutter. McGill wants at him, but Maruelli so far being able to hold them apart. And now everybody else separating as well. Over the Hawk line. Scoops it in behind the goal. Belfour shot it to the near board. Stevens trying to keep it in, did to the corner. And now a hand pass is ruled as Stevens gloved it. And the next to touch it was Lowry, and now a face full of glove for one of the Hawk players as Lowry and Stevens were both there. It may have been Cam Russell who ate some leather there. And Russell, who got in quite a scuffle with Kimball earlier in the game. And have we even seen Darren Kimball since then? Maybe one shift after. I don't think we might have even touched the ice after he seemed to have an edge on Russell in the bout. And then Cam put a right hand on the jaw of Kimball that buckled his knees. And Cam Russell coming up from Indianapolis for the game tonight with the banishment of Chelios. What a strong game he's had. Didn't play much early, but as the game's gone on, number 52 for Chicago has had more and more ice time, and it's been very solid.
He's a good defensive player. just honing his skills in the minors, and he's certainly not afraid to show up for battle. He fought Kimball, and now he challenges both Lowry and Stevens.
Larmer over the line, looks for Goulet, then centered it. Oh, and Goulet just missed tipping that into the near corner. And now to the far side it goes. Now Goulet got leveled. A cheap shot by Lowry. That's going to be a penalty, and the Blues hurting themselves here. And now we got a scuffle off the play. Lowry and Goulet going back and forth as the linesmen get there. Dave Lowry just flattened Goulet with a high stick or elbow, it looked like. Goulet hit the deck, and Maruelli saw what happened. He was going to call a penalty on the Blues. And it looks as if St. Louis is going to have to score a short-handed goal to have a chance in this one.
Well, Goulet just failed to tip in the pass, and then Lowry just drifted him, not once but twice. Got him a straight arm right under the neck and the chin area, and Goulet went down. And a stupid play on Lowry's part in a 3-2 hockey game.
So Roenick will come in against Oates. And Roenick won the draw to the near corner. Wilson hacked at it. They scramble along the boards. Blues dig it out to Hall. The long shot off the skate of McGill and wide. Held in by Jeff Brown. Here's the last shot. It's deflected wide. Hawks win. Hawks win. The Blackhawks have picked up their 20th road victory of the year. The 40th win of the year for Ed Belfour, who adds to his Blackhawk record. And Chicago extends the lead over the Blues to 3 points on top of the Norris division. And an ecstatic band of Blackhawks who faced a major week this week with 4 straight games against first-place teams. The Blues, when the week started, were tied for first. And the Hawks beat the Rangers, they beat the Kings, and now they win on the road in St. Louis. And Chicago is first overall again in the National Hockey League with a total of 94 points.